Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Michael Bublé is returning as a coach for The Voice Season 28, but he's hoping to audition, too. Well, sorta. In a July 22 TikTok video filmed from the Season 28 set, the father of four fired up a very appropriate filter featuring virtual voice coaches judging users' singing ability in real time. Being the competitive person he is, Bublé confidently put his vocal skills to the test, from his own big red coach chair, and placed his fate in the hands of three virtual coaches. "Thank God we're coaches not judges," grimacing face emoji, #TheVoice #singing, Bublé captioned his TikTok. The 49-year-old crooner smoothly sang the first few lines of Nat King Cole's 1954 classic Smile in such a gorgeous manner. "Smile, though your heart is aching, smile, even though it's breaking," Bublé sang with such precision that he surely was anticipating a virtual three-chair turn. The a cappella performance was sublime, highlighting Bublé's unmatched vocals. The result? Not a single turn. That's right, the man who has won seasons 26 and 27 of The Voice can't even get one app-based chair turn these days. Bublé did not take this outcome well. "Really, no turns? None?" he asked incredulously before joking, "Stupid voice coaches don't know st. All jokes aside, Bublé belting Nat King Cole, and singer he's covered before, is always a pleasure to our ears." Michael Bublé returns for his third straight season on The Voice Season 28. Bublé is back for Season 28 of The Voice alongside coaches Niall Horan, Reba McEntire, and Snoop Dogg. "This is about the artists, for the artists. It's not about us," he told NBC Insider about being on The Voice. "We love being here. We love being part of the process. There's a reason why we've come and gone, and the people in the red seats change, but the show stays successful. It's because they've made sure that they are so protective of the artists. And that's the legacy of the show." The Voice Season 28 premieres Monday, September 22 at 8/7 on NBC with the blind auditions. Are you ready? Michael Bublé is no stranger to wowing audiences with his velvet-smooth voice, but what happened during a recent taping of The Voice was something truly extraordinary, even by his own lofty standards. It wasn't a planned performance. There was no grand introduction, no band queued up, no special lighting effects. Just Bublé, sitting in his iconic red coach's chair, and a sudden spark of inspiration that would turn into a moment so pure, so heartfelt, that it sent shivers down the spines of everyone in the studio, and later, millions online. It began during a live audition round, when a contestant chose to sing a beloved Nat King Cole classic. As the gentle, familiar melody filled the studio, Bublé was visibly moved. He leaned forward in his chair, elbows resting on the armrests, listening intently to every note. His eyes glistened with emotion, and at one point, he even mouthed some of the lyrics to himself. The other coaches noticed, one teasing him with a knowing grin, and the audience picked up on it too. When the contestant finished, Bublé's admiration was clear. But instead of giving the usual feedback right away, he did something unexpected. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and without any musical accompaniment, began to sing the same Nat King Cole tune a cappella. The room went silent. His voice, rich, warm, and effortlessly controlled, poured into the air like molten gold. Every note was a masterclass in phrasing and emotion, as though Bublé wasn't just singing about love, but to it. Without the safety net of an orchestra or piano, every subtle shift in tone was laid bare, and yet he soared through it with confidence and tenderness. Even the production crew, who are usually busy adjusting lights and cameras, froze in place. You could see the Steadicam operator subtly stop panning just to watch. The audience, already enamored, leaned forward collectively as if not to miss a single breath. By the time he reached the final, lingering note, there was a beat of stunned silence, followed by an eruption of applause and cheers that seemed to rattle the rafters. The other coaches gave him a standing ovation, some shaking their heads in disbelief. One coach jokingly threw a shoe in his direction, a playful gesture of awe among musicians. Bublé chuckled, his cheeks flushed from both the performance and the unexpected attention. "Sorry," he said modestly, gripping his chair's armrest as if grounding himself. "I just couldn't help myself. Nat King Cole. Man, he's the reason I do what I do. His music isn't just timeless, it's human. When I hear it, I feel like I'm home." It wasn't just the flawless vocals that made the moment so special. It was the way Bublé seemed to inhabit every lyric, the sincerity in his delivery, and the fact that he wasn't performing for the sake of applause. He was simply sharing something that lived deep inside his soul. That's what made it sublime. After the segment aired, social media lit up instantly. Clips of the impromptu performance spread across platforms, racking up millions of views in hours. Fans flooded the comments sections with emotional reactions. "I didn't know I needed Michael Bublé singing Nat King Cole a cappella until now. Goosebumps from head to toe. This man is magic. You can tell this came from his heart. No auto-tune, no instruments, just pure talent." Some viewers even compared the moment to legendary unplugged performances of the past, saying it felt like witnessing a future classic in real time. Vocal coaches praised his technical mastery, how he maintained pitch and vibrato perfectly without any accompaniment, while casual listeners just basked in the emotional warmth. In the days that followed, Bublé addressed the viral reaction in interviews. He confessed that it wasn't planned at all, but rather an instinctual act in the moment. "Sometimes you just feel the music so strongly that you can't keep it in," he explained. "Nat King Cole's songs have this way of touching your heart without asking permission. I grew up listening to him with my grandfather. That sound, that storytelling, it's in my DNA. So when the contestant sang it, I just had to join in." Producers for The Voice later revealed that the moment almost didn't make it to air. "We didn't have it in the original cut," one insider said, "but once we saw how powerful it was in the raw footage, we knew it had to stay. It wasn't about the show, it was about music in its purest form." Music journalists began dissecting the performance too, noting how rare it is for modern television to feature unaccompanied, unedited singing. In an industry often criticized for overproduction and digital enhancement, Bublé's raw delivery was a reminder of what true vocal artistry sounds like. What's more, the moment seemed to inspire the contestants themselves. Several later admitted that seeing Bublé sing so vulnerably gave them the courage to take bigger risks in their own performances. "He reminded us that it's not about hitting every note perfectly," one singer said, "it's about making people feel something." Of course, Bublé's connection to Nat King Cole's music runs deep. Over the years, he's covered several Cole classics in concerts, often telling the audience about the influence Cole had on shaping his style. But this time, it wasn't on a grand stage with a big band behind him, it was just Bublé, his voice, and a room full of people hanging on every note. In a world where viral moments often feel manufactured, this one stood apart. It was organic, heartfelt, and unfiltered. It reminded everyone, whether they were longtime Bublé fans or casual viewers, that music is most powerful when it's personal. Perhaps the most telling part came after the cameras stopped rolling. A few audience members reported that Bublé stayed seated in his chair for a moment, quietly humming the song to himself, almost as if savoring it privately. One fan who was in the front row said, "It was like he didn't want to let go of that feeling. He looked peaceful, like he just shared a secret with all of us." Weeks later, the clip continued to circulate online, finding new audiences every day. People played it on repeat during their morning coffee, during late-night study sessions, even at weddings. It became more than just a voice moment, it became a piece of art that lived beyond the show. As for Bublé, he seemed humbled by the whole experience. "I'm just grateful people felt what I felt," he said in one interview. "If I can give someone even a fraction of the joy Nat King Cole gave me, then I've done my job." In the end, the performance wasn't about competition or celebrity, it was about connection. Michael Bublé, sitting in that red chair, reminded the world why the classics endure, why voices like Nat King Cole's, and his own, remain etched in our collective memory. And for a few minutes, in a crowded studio and across millions of screens, the world stopped, listened, and remembered the simple, transformative power of a song sung straight from the heart.